sentences you as follows. Count 1, malice murder, life without the possibility of parole.
Judge Timothy Walmsley also sentenced McMichael's father to life in prison without parole. A third man received a life sentence but will have a chance at parole. Prosecutors and defense attorneys are asking to delay the March trial of 3 former Minneapolis police officers charged in the death of George Floyd as a federal civil rights trial moves forward. Former officer Derek Chauvin, who held his knee on Floyd's neck, was sentenced to 22 years in prison. In Michigan, a judge has refused to lower bail for the parents of accused high school shooter Ethan Crumbley.
Prosecutors say the couple made a gun available to their son, 15-year-old Ethan Crumbley, who allegedly opened fire at Oxford High School in late November, killing 4 fellow students and injuring 7 others. The teen also waived his right to a preliminary exam, sending his case straight to trial.
Fox's Jeff Manasso. All 9 Supreme Court justices are vaccinated and boosted against COVID-19, but will they rule in favor of 2 of President Biden's vaccine mandates? They heard arguments today.
You can hear it in their voices just how high the stakes are for them, because Justice Alito said, listen, we want to take a few days to figure this out before people lose their jobs.
Fox's David Spunt outside the Supreme Court. On Wall Street, the Dow was down 5 points. America's listening to Fox News.
Has this ever happened to you? My friend was telling me about his new pair of headphones, so I looked them up online. Now, everywhere I go is a creepy ad for those headphones I looked at one time. I hate that feeling like I'm being watched. I got DuckDuckGo and saw a difference right away. With one download, you can search and browse privately, avoiding trackers, all for free. It's that simple. Take back your privacy online with DuckDuckGo. Privacy simplified.
More than 1 in 3 people will face cancer in their lifetime. Unfortunately, fear can stop you from getting cancer screening, but it won't stop cancer. Early detection can save your life. Don't wait for symptoms to appear to act. Cancer screening is safe, effective, and accessible for everyone, including free or low-cost screening programs. Go to cancerscreenquiz.com now and take the American Cancer Society's 2-minute cancer screening quiz to find out what screening tests are right for you. Don't wait. Take the quiz. Get screened. Go to cancerscreenquiz.com now. cancerscreenquiz.com.
President Biden is about to survey wildfire damage in suburban Denver. The inferno destroyed about 1,000 homes and businesses. 2 people remain missing. Partial human remains have been found. Before leaving for Colorado, the president made remarks on the latest jobs report. Only 199,000 new jobs were created in December, but the White House focused on the unemployment rate. It's down to 3.9%.
If you listen to President Joe Biden, there are no issues with the economy.
Record job creation, record unemployment declines, record increases in the people in the labor force. I would argue the Biden economic plan is working.
The president blaming Republicans, not his own policies, for the weaker jobs report.
Fox's Edward Lawrence. Accusations of gaslighting aimed at Russia from Secretary of State Antony Blinken. He says the Kremlin is spreading disinformation about Ukraine.
The US says NATO's 30 member states are united against Russian military action in Ukraine. This after foreign ministers in the military alliance met for talks on a video call today.
The Russian military buildup has not stopped.
NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg says a recent building up of Russian troops near Ukraine continues.
If they once again decide to use military force against a neighbor, then there will be severe consequences.
High-ranking diplomats from the US and Russia are due to meet in Switzerland on Monday.
Fox's Simon Owen. Tributes are pouring in for Sidney Poitier, the groundbreaking actor who transformed how Black people were portrayed on screen. He won an Academy Award for Best Actor in 1964 for Lilies in the Field.
I build a chapel.
I build the chapel.
Sidney Poitier was 94. Pam Huso, Fox News.
A winter weather advisory goes into effect this evening until 3 a.m. We'll see snow showers exiting 2-hour east by 9 with minor snow accumulations, but blowing snow across the area into tonight with south-southeast winds 25 to 30 miles an hour, gusting up to 45. Temperatures rise through the teens tonight as the low ends lighten up a little bit. We'll see a high in the upper teens for Saturday morning, followed by falling temperatures in the afternoon after a cold front swings through, producing more blowing snow with gusts up to 40 from the northwest. From the Skywatch Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Justin Storm.
How are you going to save? With Price Busters at Menards. These prices are scary low. Add instant warmth and ambience to your home with a 20-inch infrared electric fireplace stove. It heats up to 400 square feet for only $89.99. Or get the 56-inch Hensley Media electric fireplace that heats up to 1,000 square feet and holds up to a 65-inch TV. Pick one up for $299.99 after sale price and $100 mail-in rebate. See store for details now at Menards. Savings good through January 15th.
Save big money at Menards. One more time, got me feeling so free. We're gonna celebrate and dance so free. One more time, this got me feeling so free. We're gonna celebrate.
The Chris Berg Show, where faith and freedom reign.
One more time,
what does it mean for America when you've got a Supreme Court justice acting as a virologist? Are we going in the right direction or the wrong direction when a Supreme Court justice start to break things down as though, hey, they're this expert in medicine, they're a virologist? We're going to jump into some of that today, because you may be well aware that the Supreme Court had oral arguments today in regards to the Biden administration's vaccine mandates, one for the private employers and one for Medicare and Medicaid as well. So I had a chance to listen to some of the arguments. It's fascinating. It's fascinating. In my opinion, you throw a black robe on somebody and just, I don't know what it is, but it almost just sort of like injects hubris out of that person. It's like, hey, I have this black robe on, so now I can have all the hubris in the world that I want, and it shouldn't really make a difference to you. And unfortunately for most of us, we've talked about this before, like in the Milgram experiment, we just sort of fall prey to it. Oh, that person's got a black robe on. That must mean they went to the school of Mensa, that they're a genius. Not always the case. We saw what happened with the old slave decision, right? Chief Justice saying that, yeah, no, people because of a particular skin color shouldn't be considered a human. So, yeah, not always went to the school of Mensa, not always the smartest people on the planet, and yet we've put them in those positions to make decisions, to execute or interpret, I should say, the laws here in a republic called the United States of America. Happy Feel Good Friday, by the way, here on the Chris Berg Show, your daily dose of truth to help set you free. Coming to you live from the PetroServe USA studio, also helping you in America fuel better. Some of you may be getting a late start heading down to Frisco. We're going to be talking about the Bison, the Frisco game coming up here later in the show. Some very special guests will be joining us. And if you're jumping in your car, heading home from work, and or heading down to Frisco, as always, be sure and stop into your local PetroServe USA. Grab some gas and some goodies. All right, some of this stuff, again, I mean, if I wasn't in this business, right, and I would just sort of tune in to random news shows or talk shows, I would be like, this has all got to be a big play. This has to just be one big skit that is happening right now. And this news thing is like a movie or a play, because sometimes it seems so orchestrated, number one, but it's just so ridiculous at times. And I'm going to give you some prime examples. So as you know, as I've mentioned a moment ago, Supreme Court today hears these oral arguments on the mandates. Like that is literally what they've been called, is, hey, vaccine mandates. I was going to play a clip for you a moment, but I'm actually going to change directions here. And I'm going to play for you a clip from Justice Sonia Sotomayor. And again, everywhere you go in the news right now, anywhere, it's going to say, hey, the Supreme Court had hearings today on vaccine, on the Biden administration's vaccine mandates. So Scott Keller, he's with the National Federation of Independent Businesses. He was arguing, obviously, against the mandates, trying to protect you and I, people that work at places, trying to keep our jobs, keep us out of this anxiety, this fear-mongering, if you will. Listen closely to what Justice Sonia Sotomayor says about the mandates.
the power to require employees to get certain medical treatment. It's one thing to say
there's no requirement here. It's not a vaccine mandate.
What? I mean, hello, welcome to the show. And again, because she has a black robe on, we just defer and go, oh, well, if you said it's not a mandate, then it must not be a mandate. I mean, again, they're attorneys, they're judges, they like to play with words, and you and I are just average, everyday Americans. Don't play with words with me. Just tell me what it is. It's a mandate. So let's just keep it straight here. I don't need to play words or with words in your courtroom. I think what's really stunning, though, is when you start to take a judge or a justice and all of a sudden they want to just go, yeah, I'm not going to just be a justice. I'm also going to attach MD to the end of my name. And I'm going to tell you sort of how these things really work from a medical standpoint, what it means to save lives, what it means to keep people out of hospitals. Like, since when are judges and or Supreme Court justices experts in virology and or medicine for that matter? I don't know. Maybe some of them have been in the past, but I don't know if Justice Kagan is. I'll play that for you in a second because I do want to set the premise here. So again, this has been a nationwide mandate. If you've got 100 or more employees for private employers, they're basically saying, hey, take the jab or you can't work here. You can do this testing thing, but promise you can't work here. So again, this is not from The Onion. This is not from some sarcasm paper. The U.S. Postal Service. The U.S. Postal Service is seeking a delay in implementing the Biden administration's mandate that employers with more than 100 workers require staff to be vaccinated, because essentially the post office is saying, we can't do our jobs. We're going to lose so many employees if we mandate this vaccine. The U.S. Post Office going, guys, this is going to be an absolute mess if you are going to put this mandate in place starting, I think it's, January 10th it's supposed to start? Is that right, Producer BG? Do you know?
I believe so, but we'll do some research just to
I
make
think it's
sure.
the 10th because I know
soon, yeah.
the justices today were like, hey, give us a couple days. We don't want to have people to lose their jobs. We just give us a couple days to think about this and see what we're going to do. So just to be clear, essentially what this gentleman from the National Business Federation was talking about is we put a stay on this. Just put a stay on this. Allow people to keep their jobs. You know, we've got enough issues right now with workforce. You and I have talked about this ad nauseum, but here's the key piece I want to get to for you. This is Supreme Court Justice Kagan. And listen closely to what she says here. And then I'm going to follow it up with an actual MD, with an actual doctor who's been in the thick of this, and then hear what this gentleman has to say. Here's Justice Kagan first.
We all know what the best policy is. I mean, by this point, 2 years later, we know that the best way to prevent spread is for people to get vaccinated, and to prevent dangerous illness and death is for people to get vaccinated. That is by far the best. The second best is to wear masks. So
again, we all know the best way is to get vaccinated. Has she seen any of the numbers coming out of Israel? And then she wants to go out and be a proponent of masks. Has there been any conclusive evidence that masks have actually been effective at mitigating COVID? Because if that's true, if that were to be true, for example, especially, I mean, it's so amazing to me. If you just you can look at the science and back it up, but even just what's happening across the country. I mean, Minneapolis, St. Paul, some of the most highly vaccinated, densely vaccinated places in Minnesota. And yet what happened yesterday or the day before, you had the two mayors from Minneapolis and St. Paul go, oh, whoa, the cases are going to so much. We need to have a mask mandate now. Thank you, Justice Kagan. Here's some more.
So this is a policy that basically says we are still confronting thousands of people dying every time we look around. And so we're going to put into place the policy that we know works best, which is to strongly incentivize vaccination and to insist that unvaccinated people will wear masks and test. I mean, that's just like, why isn't that necessary? What else should be done? Oh. It's obviously the policy that's geared to preventing most sickness and death, and the agency has done everything but stand on its head to show quite clearly that no other policy will prevent sickness and death to anywhere like the degree this one will.
So she is saying, again, this is a Supreme Court justice, not an MD, not a virologist, none of that. And here she is saying it's obvious. It's obvious if you have two cells in your brain to rub together, like Scott Hennon said yesterday on the show. I love that one. It's obvious that obviously vaccinations and masks are the best and most effective way to mitigate severe illness and death. Clearly. So I'm going to play another clip for you. You tell me if you're going to listen to a Supreme Court justice who studied law, obviously Justice Kagan, in regards to medicine, or if you might want to hear what Dr. McCullough has to say. Remember Peter McCullough? He was on the Joe Rogan podcast. He was on our show on December 23rd. But I'm going to play a clip for you of Dr. Peter McCullough from Joe Rogan's podcast. Again, just to set this up so we're clear, we just had Supreme Court Justice Kagan tell us that vaccines and masks are by far the most obvious and best way to keep people healthy and to prevent death. Here is an actual doctor saying this.
And that's how I put it together. I'm telling you, Joe, every single one of my high-risk patients, I've always treated to prevent hospitalization and death. Of the 800,000 deaths that we are right now, I can tell you to a one, they've received either no or inadequate early treatment.
800,000 deaths. And he's going to go on to say here in a moment, which is, again, shocking what Justice Kagan said, but if they would have received early treatment, they wouldn't have died. So he's suggesting we could have saved 800,000 lives. Dr. Robert Malone was on the podcast recently as well with Joe Rogan. He says, hey, look, Joe, I know for certain that if we would have done a better job with a protocol, an early protocol, we would have saved over 500,000 American lives. So listen closely again, Dr. Peter McCullough here, and what he said under oath publicly in Washington, D.C., where Justice Kagan resides.
So, in your opinion, if your protocol had been established and distributed worldwide, if people had recognized that this is a way to deal with early treatment, you think that the overall number of COVID deaths would have been significantly reduced?
I testified in the U.S. Senate, November 19th, 2020. I told Americans under oath that 50% of the lives at that time could have been saved. We were at about 250,000 deaths, based on what I knew. I then testified on March 10th, 2021 in the Texas Senate, sworn testimony. I upped that to 85% of the deaths could have been avoided. We know that because we carried out studies. We did one with Proctor here in Dallas-Fort Worth, where we demonstrated that even the early primordial protocols before the monoclonal antibodies, when we use drugs in combination, were associated with 85% reductions in hospitalizations and deaths compared to fair comparator groups. For death, we use the Tri-County Area and DFW averages age adjusted. And for hospitalization, we use the Cleveland Clinic calculator, which is a very precise estimate of the risk of hospitalization. Then simultaneously, Derwand and Zelenko showed that from our own New York data, and then Didier Rialt showed it from Marseille, France. So we have three different areas showing early multi-drug therapy as an outpatient works substantially, and we've had a giant loss of life, a giant number, millions and millions of unnecessary hospitalizations. And it seemed to me, and I've told Tucker Carlson and many others, it seems to me early on, there was an intentional, very comprehensive suppression of early treatment in order to promote fear, suffering, isolation, hospitalization, and death. And it seemed to be completely organized and intentional in order.
So, is Justin Kagan part of that? You got to, Justice Kagan, obviously, very, very smart person, right? She's a Supreme Court justice. She's just not an MD, but very smart, reads the news. Here you have a Dr. Peter McCullough that testified under oath in Washington, D.C., in Texas, suggesting that early treatments could have prevented. He said 50% at one point, and then he says 85% of the deaths. And yet now we've got a Supreme Court justice today saying, obviously, the best way to mitigate this and to prevent illness and deaths is to get vaccinated and wear a mask. It's just not true. Just not true. And yet we continue to fall prey to the psyop. And that's what we say. Come join us here every single day on the Chris Berg Show. It's a daily dose of truth. It's easy to fall prey to a Supreme Court justice because she's got the black robe on. It's like the white coat effect, if you're familiar with that, right? Just the opposite color, but it's kind of the same thing. And that is why it's so important to tune in here every day, and you can break down and actually get the truth and the facts of what we could have done, what we should be doing, and what you and I are going to continue to do to go out there and spread the light, spread the truth, and start to turn this ship back in the right direction. So would love to know your point of view on that. It's very easy to let us know as well. You can email me. Just grab your phone, email studio@flagfamily.com. Again, studio@flagfamily.com. I also want to say thank you and let you know that, hey, the flagfamily.com inbox, sponsored by Red Wing Shoes. Red Wing Shoes for the ultimate in durability. I got to pick myself up some of these Red Wing shoes. They've been around now designing footwear for more than 110 years. They've been helping companies keep workers safe and productive and even in the most hazardous conditions. And as I look out the window right now, I've seen worse in this area, but it's still freezing out, right, BG?
-30.
Right now it is?
When I left this morning, it was. So let me refresh the page and we'll get back.
All I know is the fact that we live in a place where it's -30 as the air, not even wind chill. Whoo-wee.
Oh, don't worry. Now it's 0 degrees.
Oh,
don't worry, everyone.
I'm bringing out the
Take
flip-flop.
off one layer.
It's all good.
Now
all
it's
right.
0.
Stay with us when we come back. The big game is tomorrow, 11 a.m. on ESPN. It's the National Championship game, Montana State versus NDSU. We're going to take you down to some special guests in Frisco when we come back right after this, live from the PetroServe USA studio.
Hi, Jeff from a Cutting Edge Gallery of Jewelry with a message for everybody. We talk about cutting. What does that actually mean? Cutting on a diamond determines the brilliance that every stone is capable of. Whether it's a round and oval, cushion, an emerald cut, or radiant, it's all about the cutting. After cutting stones for 37 years, we've learned things that no other jewelers have figured out. So if you want to see the absolute best, brightest, whitest, cleanest stones for your money, come to a Cutting Edge, 4507 33rd Avenue South, right here in Fargo.
Your farm and business depends on a reliable source for energy. PetroServe USA is the customer-owned co-op committed to being a stable source of fuel for your equipment and propane to dry your grain. We have the capacity to make sure you never run out of fuel and to keep prices stable. Dependability, competitive prices, and exemplary service. That's PetroServe USA, helping America fuel better.
PetroServe USA.
Call today.
Expensive cable bills, you can cut the cord and get Newsmax TV for free. Millions of Americans are watching Newsmax. I watch it all the time. It's on all major cable systems, or you can get it free on streaming platforms. Watch Newsmax on smart TVs like Samsung, LG, Vizio, and more. Find Newsmax on your hub guide or search button. Streaming free on Amazon Fire, Roku, Xumo, Pluto, TiVo, Apple TV, Chromecast, and more. More than 7 million have downloaded the free Newsmax app on their smartphone, too. There's no subscription. Download Newsmax app and start watching. Forbes calls Newsmax a news powerhouse. Watch great shows. Mike Huckabee, Greg Kelly, Rob Schmidt, Diamond and Silk, Stinchfield, and more. America is tuning in to Newsmax TV. It's the fastest growing cable news channel. And it's a source I trust, and you can trust them, too. Newsmax, real news for real people.
Nothing warms you up and gets you going like a delicious cup of coffee. And Moxie Java at the Lights in West Fargo has so many flavors to choose from. Moxie Java Coffee at the Lights location in West Fargo has the convenient drive-thru and the Joe Coffee app. And if you're at the Lights Ice Rink, stop by Moxie Java for a delicious flavored coffee or hot chocolate, all half price, during happy hour from 4 to 7 daily. They even have a comfy chair and a warm fireplace inside. Moxie Java Coffee at the Lights in West Fargo.
Save 25% on awesome ice fishing at Roy Lake State Park in South Dakota. Beautiful setting, great ice fishing, and special deals on suites. They are filling up for January through March. Reserve your lodging for an awesome time pulling out perch, northern, and big walleye. Save 25% on suites while dates are still available. Rates start at $90 a night and can sleep up to 10 people. Find the info on Facebook at Roy Lake State Park and see more details at GoOutdoorsSouthDakota.com.
Yeah, you can hear the herd coming, baby, like it or not. We've been waiting while tailgating in the parking lot. Now that clock is ticking down, the boys are ready to go. The energy in here's electric. Let's get on with the show. Get your horns up.
Get your horns up here on a Feel Good Friday. Welcome back to the Chris Berg Show, your daily dose of truth to help set you free. We're coming to you live from the PetroServe USA studio, helping you and America fuel better. Again, if you're driving around at any point today over the weekend, please stop in your local PetroServe USA, grab some gas and some goodies. And of course, they've got that beautiful 4 for $4. You stop in, they've got these nice little pizzas, pepperoni, Canadian bacon, whatever it is you like. And then you get a 20-ounce soft drink and a couple of cookies. So you spend $4 and you get enough food, at least for me, that lasts you most of the day. Big game tomorrow. It's the 9th time. Every time I say that, I'm like, wow, is that really true? And it is. It's the 9th time the Buys are going to be in the FCS title game. Joining us now is one of our team members, Kevin Flynn from the Need to Know morning show. He's been down there now for the past few days, drove down with the boosh. I'm just glad that you're still alive, Kevin, number one, knowing that you drove down with the boosh, man. So you're a first timer. I think, are you at the pep rally right now?
No, we're getting ready to head over right now.
Oh, okay. So
yeah, we got some lunch out of the way. We were over at called Tight Ends, and that's a nice. Bougie says, "Yeah, we're gonna go to the coffee bar." Not a coffee bar, but they have a really good burger. But we're getting ready to head over now. They got a program. They start at 3, and everybody said, 3 is a little early. We're gonna head over there about 5. So we're getting ready to go over there, and they got a program at 7, and get all tuned up, ready for the game.
So what's the vibe? And I really want to ask this. Like, you go down with a certain expectation, right? I mean, you've heard all about Bison, Frisco, Fargo South, blah, blah, blah. You go down with a certain expectation in your head. Have your expectations been met, surpassed, or not met?
Oh, yeah. Met and surpassed, I think. In fact, I'm looking out my room, the window of the room right now here in Legacy, the Legacy Marriott. And Scruffy Duffy's is one of the bars. That's it's right down, literally across the parking lot from my room. And there's probably right now at least a dozen green and gold dawned people standing outside and getting ready to go in there. No, they're everywhere, buddy. It's crazy. I mean, everywhere we went today, there's green and gold. Everywhere you look, everywhere it's green and gold. I mean, I haven't seen any. I think I heard Scott had the governor of Montana. It's the only Bobcat fan I've seen for 2 days.
Wow. All right, so we've had you on here for just a couple minutes, and you've mentioned Scruffy Duffy's and Tight Ends. So I don't know if that tells me where you guys are hanging out or what.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, so there's Tight Ends, and then there's a place called Twin Peaks. You can imagine what those two are about.
Geez. Okay, and, this is a family show. Come on.
Exactly. No, I'm just saying the name. But no, it's really great. The weather is not perfect, but man, the vibe is just fantastic.
Yeah, so one of the things that really jumped out to me, I've only been down once myself, but like you go into places and if you have any green and gold on, or you're in any way associated with the Bison, I mean, the Frisco, the waitresses, the waiters, I mean, they just, they love you. They cannot wait to come and chat with you. Are you having the same experience?
Oh yeah. I couldn't believe we went to lunch over at Tight Ends, and we in fact talked to the general manager over there. And she was just fantastic. She said, "Oh, we just love you guys." She said, "Every year we just get ready. We look forward to it when you are coming." And she said, "It's actually when you're not coming, those are the years that we're really are not as good." So they've gotten used to the crowd. I mean, they do pretty well at a few of the bars around here when the Bison Nation invades. That's for sure.
So what's the vibe about the game? I mean, give us the inside scoop as you're talking to people. I don't know if you've been talking to coaches or whatnot, but tell me about your thoughts on tomorrow.
All green and gold. Everybody's convinced. Whether I could talk about what the line and the over/under is, etc. And everybody's thinking it's going to be a pretty square matchup. But for the most part, everybody around here is obviously all about the Bison. I think the Bison are going to win the game. I don't think they're going to walk with it by any means.
No.
But most people are in that probably win by a field goal or a touchdown, like a 3 or 7 point game, which is interesting because they're favored by 7.5. So to cover the spread, they got to cover it by 8. So a lot of people are going, well, I don't know. Geez, I don't know if I take the Bison with a 7.5. And so I think it's going to be a tight game. It's going to be a great battle no matter what.
I was going to say I'm not a gambling man, and if I was, I may take that 7.5, man.
Yeah, I don't know. It's everybody's saying they're really evenly matched, and a lot depends on the quarterbacks, and but. I don't know. I'm just looking forward to a great game and some 65-degree weather.
Oh, you had to throw that in there. Huh? The 65 degrees.
Yeah.
Yeah, just last night it was 30 below here, my friend. So your highlight of the trip so far is what?
Last night going outside, I got here, Chris, and the lobby was full of green and gold. I mean, it was full of it. And so I went up, got the bag put in the room, and everything. Kind of just did a little turnaround and went right back down. I was going to go back down. I went down to the bar, and there was like 6 people in the bar. I thought, where's everybody? I can't be in their rooms. It's only 7:30. I thought, well, and I found out the pool here is heated. So they've got an 80-degree heated pool, and they've got a hot tub all outside. So I'm thinking that's where everybody is. So I go get my suit on. I go bopping out there thinking that's where everybody's going to be packed around the hot tub. I had it to myself. Nobody there. So it turns out they were all out of scruffy duffies and, Twin Peaks and hind ends or whatever, the tight ends and, doing their deal. But yeah, it was surprising to me that I got to Dallas, Texas on a beautiful night and went out to the hot tub, and I was the only one out there. That was the biggest surprise so far.
Kevin Flynn from the Need to Know Morning Show. Are you going to be doing any coverage tomorrow? Any call-ins like people can tune in for you tomorrow?
Oh yeah. Yep. We'll be, we've got some, the Gate City Bank fan cam going too. We've done some different interviews. My voice is half shot, but we're having so much fun talking to people. It's just been fantastic.
Dude.
Yeah, we'll be doing during the game. James McCarty's over there now, and I know they're going over there super early tomorrow. And he's on top of the players and get interviews and talk with coaches and stuff like that. So we're more about the people. We're just finding fun people from Ray, North Dakota to St. Cloud, Minnesota. Man, they're all up here.
Well,
down here, I should say.
Enjoy. It's always fun to be down there, enjoy the weather. And of course, man, I think it's going to be one of those games where I said this yesterday, like snot flying everywhere, just people smashing people in the face. It's going to be beautiful.
Yeah, it is going to be some smash mouth football, no doubt.
All right, man. I'll talk to you soon. Enjoy, and looking forward to seeing when you get back in town. I know you're down with Booze, so I'm just praying that you get back alive. All right.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do most of the driving. That's all I'm going to say on the way back. So,
all right, man. Enjoy, Kev. Thank you, sir. Again, please email the show if you want to share your point of view on anything. I also want to say thank you to Red Wing Shoes. Red Wing Shoes for the ultimate durability. Red Wing Shoes has been designing footwear now for more than 110 years. They've been helping companies and workers stay safe and productive, even in the most hazardous conditions. And it's easy to use. The Red Wing Shoes email box. Just do it at studio@flagfamily.com. Again, studio@flagfamily.com. Very excited for our next guest. He is a legend here in our area, huge Bison backer, and also doing amazing things for a very special community here in our state. Stick around, you'll find out who that is and all about him when we come back here on the Chris Berg Show.
A wind chill advisory is in effect for this afternoon. We'll see increasing clouds along with increasing winds out of the southeast, about 15 to 25, and gusty, producing some blowing snow, with temperatures rising into the single digits. And we could see some evening snow showers as well. We'll have temperatures rise overnight tonight with windy conditions and blowing snow, leading to an early high on Saturday, right around 19. Remember, you can always find the full forecast at am1100theflag.com. From the Flag Skywatch Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Dean Wysocki.
You don't have to be in Frisco to enjoy the fun of Frisco as the NDSU Bison head back for another FCS National Championship. The Frisco Fan Cam, brought to you by Gate City Bank, captures all the fun. From the road trip to all the parties to the big game and the tailgating. Go to am1100theflag.com every day. The Gate City Bank Frisco Fan Cam on our Facebook page or at am1100theflag.com. And if you can't be there, join the fun. And if you are there, you'll love it even more.
The team at Olaf Anderson Construction would like to wish good luck to the NDSU Bison football team as they take on Montana State in the 2021 NCAA Football Championship game. Just like the Bison, Olaf Anderson Construction has a proven track record when it comes to hard work, precision, efficiency, and dependability. Play hard, play safe, play fair, and most of all, have fun. Best of luck from the team at Olaf Anderson Construction. Go Bison!
Emily Bivens is the executive director of the Jamestown Area Chamber of Commerce. Tell me your thoughts on ethanol and what impact that has had on your community there.
Midwest Ag Energy is locally here over at Spiritwood, North Dakota, which is really close to Jamestown. So Midwest Ag Energy and the entire ethanol industry in our region really help us create a prosperous business environment, and that is what helps our members grow and succeed. They produce 75 million gallons of ethanol here locally and process about 25 million bushels of corn here per year, and they directly employ almost 2,000 jobs here in our area. So their impact on our economy and our workforce environment is great. They help us create this prosperous business environment, which is what the chamber is all about. And they're very active in our chamber. They're very good chamber members, very good community members, and we're lucky to have them be a part of the Jamestown area.
Ethanol and agriculture are one, and building better communities. Find out more at ndethanol.org.
Hi, Jeff from a Cutting Edge Gallery of Jewelry with a message for everybody. We talk about cutting. What does that actually mean? Cutting on a diamond determines the brilliance that every stone is capable of. Whether it's a round, an oval, cushion, an emerald cut, or radiant, it's all about the cutting. After cutting stones for 37 years, we've learned things that no other jewelers have figured out. So if you want to see the absolute best, brightest, whitest, cleanest stones for your money, come to a Cutting Edge, 4507 33rd Avenue South, right here in Fargo.
What do you think when you hear the word accounting? Numbers and columns, decimal points and dollar signs. Exciting stuff, right? To the team at Hager Comer, it's like drawing up a play in the last 2 minutes of a football game. To them, it's not just numbers, it's clues about where the business is going or where it's been. Clues to help clients make more money or spend less. Hager Comer. They make business better. Online at hagercomer.com. That's hagercomer.com.
If you're gonna play in Texas, you gotta have a fiddle in the band. That lead guitar is hot, but not for Louisiana man. So raw's enough that both are faded love, and let's all dance. If you're gonna play in Texas, you gotta have a fiddle in the band.
That's the song they always play in the fourth quarter, typically with a Bison victory. In fact, I should say almost always with a Bison victory, if I'm correct, because every time they go down to Frisco, they end up with a big, giant W. So I'm invited to introduce our next guest. Just a fantastic, fantastic person, does some great things here for our community and for our outstanding ag community. Keith Peltier, owner and of ProSeed. If you need seed, think ProSeed. You can find out more at ProSeed.net. Keith, welcome to the show. It's great to chat with you, and happy Friday, my friend.
Happy Friday, Chris. I was about ready to grab my wife and start dancing around when I heard you got to have a fiddle in the band there.
You know, I guess the new rules in Toyota Stadium, Keith, is that you can dance with your wife. You just can't rush the field, just so you know. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Well, if we win, I bet you $100 that they're going to rush the field.
Oh, you know what? I'm not taking that bet, but please, you know what would make you even more happy, Keith? If you led the way, if you were the leader going, hey, you know what? We're rushing this thing.
Well, I won't be leading the way, but I will be following, that's for sure.
That sounds good. So how many times have you been down to Frisco, and how is the vibe this year?
I've been down for every game. So this is my 9th game. I'm invested, so I cannot not go to a game if they have it down in Frisco here. And the vibe is great. You know, there's a lot of Bison people walking around. I think it's going to be a good game. I'm picking the Bison by 7, but good vibes. There's people are getting fired up.
I think that's a fair assessment, and you're an athlete, so I feel like I can kind of dive a little bit into the X's and O's with you and want to get your assessment because you are such a Bison backer. I had Nate Tangway on yesterday, and we talked about the fact that Coach Vegan, you know, from Buxton, North Dakota, he's a Bison coach there. He's going to know the Bison schemes. He's going to know their tendencies. How much of an impact do you think that has on tomorrow's game?
Well, I think that's what's going to make it a little bit closer. You know, I think they're mimicking our practice schedule. They're trying to mimic, our style of play and our approach to the game. So that's what's going to make it close. But I think our guys are prepared. You know, one thing that we have going for us is that we expect to win every game we're in. So that's worth a lot of points.
It's worth a lot of points. Although I would love to have been like a fly on the wall, following Coach Viggs around because being from North Dakota, being a Bison, I mean, he probably hasn't slept for 2 weeks. He's watched every game, I'm sure, for the last, 10 years from the film and scheming and all those kind of things. So what I'm really fascinated to see on Saturday is what kind of tricks does he have up his sleeve. I don't know Coach Vigs probably as well as you do, but any thoughts or suggestions on that?
Oh, both the Bison and the Bobcats, I'm sure, are having. There's a couple plays that each one of them has up their sleeves that neither team has seen before, and they'll try and spring it on each other at the most opportune time. So I expect the Bison to have a couple of those too.
I do too. So let's talk about ProSeed. What you're doing to help farmers improve yields right now is a great time for our great ag people to reach out to you and get some deals on seeds that can help them increase their profits. And one of the things I love is you've got the Right Choice program every year. So tell us a little bit about just the seeds, what you're doing to help farmers, and the Right Choice program.
Yeah, the Right Choice program. So this year we're giving away solo stoves, all fire, no smoke. And it's a great camping tool, but we're trying to, if somebody will buy 3 different varieties of one class, like soybeans, they get a chance at a solo stove. If they buy a combination of like 2 different classes, corn and beans, they get a chance at a solo stove. And if they buy a lot of one variety, corn, soybeans, sunflowers, or canola, they get a chance at a solo stove. So we think that that's a good investment for us to be able to offer that to our dealers and farm customers who are loyal to us, and it gives them a chance to look at a couple, 3 different varieties of ours. So it gives us a better chance to get back on the farm the next year.
And talk about that, because whenever I get a chance to visit with your guys, you got a great team that's out and about, crisscrossing the state, sitting down with dealers, talking to ag, our great farmers. The seeds that you use, how it impacts in a great way the farmers' yields.
You bet. So we view both our dealers and our customers as partners. And if we don't put our best foot forward to them, they don't get the best results. So they've got to be making money and providing, and for us to provide value to them, they provide value to themselves. So, they're our partner. If we don't put our best foot forward with the best varieties that we kind of schedule for their field or adapt for their fields, then we don't win in the long run. And we definitely want to be the winners in the long run.
And it's been dry, as you know, better than I do, Keith. So what's on the horizon do you see for this upcoming planting season?
Oh, man, we're going in. We were really dry this last growing season. We got some late rains, late moisture that somewhat filled the soil profile. So we're not going in with nothing, but we could use a little bit more going in. I think the nice thing is that they'll certainly be able at this point in time plant all the acres. So that's at least a great start. If we can plant every acre that is out there, provides a great starting point for the farmers.
Keith, one of the things I appreciate about you, actually, I want to hold that for a second, if you would, because one of the things I love about that you do too, as well, is you always support our veterans. You've got a Right Stuff program at ProSeed. What does that mean? If I'm a farmer and I'm a veteran, what does that mean for me?
Oh, the Right Stuff program is one of our favorite things. I don't think we can do enough for those people that have given up their time and their talents, and in some cases their lives, to support our country and protect our freedoms that we just take for granted. So we really can't thank those guys enough. We offer a small token of a couple $100 to guys that have served our country if they do any kind of business with us. So it's one of my favorite programs, and it was kind of put forth to us by one of our DSMs, Tyler Campbell, who had served in the Army, the National Guard, and was over serving our country overseas. So we just love to be able to participate in that program and honor our guys that have out there on the front line protecting our freedoms.
Thank you for supporting them. If you're just joining us, Keith Peltier, owner of ProSeed. If you need seed, think ProSeed. You can find out more about a couple of these programs we just mentioned at proseed.net. Again, proseed.net. Keith, one of the things I appreciate about you is your humility. You meet you and you're very low key. And then just this year, the NDSU Ag Products Development Center, now called the Peltier Complex. Tell us about that. What does that mean to you and your family?
Well, it's Chris, it's an honor to be part of the process and part of the legacy. So we tried to, my dad was a great entrepreneur, a great promoter of agriculture. So we're just blessed to be able to contribute to that facility that's going to be a game changer in North Dakota. So that facility will house the cereal science, the meat science, the North Dakota Crop, or the Northern Crops Institute, and the trade office, all in one building. There's some USDA cereal science people going to be there. So all this is going to be under one building. It'll be just like having the Fargo Dome to recruit great athletes to the Bison program. This will enable us to recruit great talent here, and it'll just be a showcase for our foreign visitors coming in and seeing this stuff for the first time, and showcasing our great ag products from the state of North Dakota.
Boy, that was very well said. A nice new recruiting tool called the Peltier Complex. That was perfect, Keith.
There you go.
Keith, as always, I appreciate the time very, very much, and just everything that you do for our great state, and especially for our ag community. So I'll give you the last word, sir. Anything else you want to add or share?
Yeah, if you need seed, think ProSeed.
You took the words right out of my mouth. If you need seed, think ProSeed. Check them out at ProSeed.net. Again, ProSeed.net. Right now is the time to go there and get a great deal on some seed that, the most importantly, is going to help you as a farmer get a higher yield so you can maximize your profits. Keith Peltier, enjoy the evening, the pep rally, and of course, I think the game tomorrow. One of the things I'm excited about, Keith, I've been saying this all week, is this is going to be one of those just smash mouth, snot going everywhere kind of game. So enjoy it.
Yeah, that's the plan, and I'll be there.
All right,
I'll
buddy.
wave to you.
I'm gonna be looking for you bum rushing that field at some point. So enjoy that too. Okay.
Well, I'll be one of those guys dressed in green and yellow, easy to see.
Keith, enjoy. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, thanks, Chris.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye. Keith Peltier, again, owner of ProSeed. If you need seed, think ProSeed. You can find out more at ProSeed.net. And just what a great things that they do for our farmers and our ag community. Again, the Peltier Complex right now up at NDSU. The name just got changed. You may have seen that in the news within the last few months, and just a real great tribute to the Peltier family and the impact they've had here in ag. All right, stay with us. When we come back, Scott Hennon had a special guest on his show earlier this morning that said something that I think most of us would agree with. The thing is how do we execute it? And I've got a kind of unique thought process on a way that we can get this done and really bring the entire Red River Valley into one. So stay with us when we come back. We're going to talk about that and much, much more coming up right after this, right here on the Chris Berg Show, right here on a Feel Good Friday.
Hey, this is Patty Post from CheckableWellness.com. I'm a busy wife, working mom of 3, always striving to live my healthiest life. If you're anything like me, you need simple life hacks that keep you on track. And that's what apple cider vinegar gummies from CheckableWellness.com do for me, and they can do it for you too. For a limited time, sign up for a 25% discount on your first order. The CheckableWellness.com apple cider vinegar gummies, they cut my cravings for sweet and savory snacks. It works as a probiotic to promote digestive health, and best of all, they help me accomplish my health goals. But don't take it from me. Laura left this testimonial on CheckableWellness.com. The apple cider vinegar gummies help me with weight loss, and as a result, I feel more energized. Visit CheckableWellness.com to sign up for the 25% off these tasty, convenient gummies made with real apple cider vinegar that help you become the best version of yourself.
Did you know that periodontal disease is the #1 health problem in small animal patients? Hello, I'm Dr. Calderwood, a veterinary dental practitioner at Prairie Winds Veterinary Center. By 2 years of age, 80% of dogs and 70% of cats have some form of periodontal disease. If you notice a change in your pet's playful habits, breath, or facial swelling, there's a chance that your pet is suffering from mouth pain. Prairie Winds Veterinary Center can help. Call us at 701 356-5600 or learn more at prairiewindsvet.com.
So DJ Coulter's my insurance agent, American Family Insurance. I want him to be yours too. I really do. And DJ, tell folks what you do differently at DJ Coulter Agency with the business lines.
Well, Scotty, we sit down with business owners and we ask them a lot of questions to make sure that truly have their world protected. And you need to have not just your liability, you need to not just have your building, any assets in the building. Now we have cyber liability coming at us.
DJ Coulter, American Family Insurance, 235-6641, djcoulter.com.
Start the new year off right with Menards Bag Sale. Pick up a bag in-store and get 15% off everything you can fit in the bag now through January 15th. Whether you pack it, load it, stuff it, or stack it. From light bulbs to tools, snacks, and much more. Fit it in the bag and save 15%. So pick up a bag in-store and find out how much you fit in the bag now through January 15th. Available in-store only at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Hi, this is Natalie Tucksher from Vision Bank. Did you know that home loan rates are still at historic lows? That's right, there's still time to refinance. With lower rates, you can reduce your monthly payment or cut years off the term of your mortgage. Now is the time to refinance, buy, or build. Vision Bank has the best rates, responsive lenders, and will guide you through the entire process. For more information, check out visionbanks.com, call 701-364-2020, or stop into one of our 3 locations. Bank with Vision, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
Every time it's like the hair just starts to stand up on my arms, on my neck. You hear that song, it just takes me inside the Fargo Dome, getting ready for them to come out. I said this during the week. I mean, I need to call coach and say, hey, coach, my wing is still good. Let me just, put the pads on. If you need someone just to throw the rock around for even the second, third team, like, I'll come out. I'll sling it around the field. And I just want to come out in the dome, 18,000 of Bison Nation to AC/DC Thunder. That's just phenomenal. Welcome back to the Chris Berg Show, your daily dose of truth to help set you free. We've talked a lot about the Bison being the championship team, 9th year that they've been down to the FCS championship game. If you too, maybe you're someone that's in the trades and you enjoy being a carpenter or a plumber, whatever it might be, and you're thinking, hey, I love doing this, but I also want to be part of a championship crew, a championship team. Go check out Heritage Homes. They are doing some just incredible things right now within our community, building all kinds of beautiful homes. And the best thing about Heritage Homes is you can be part of a championship team there with my man Tyrone. So check it out, heritagefargo.com. Again, heritagefargo.com. I want to get some breaking news that came in. I meant to get to this earlier, but it's only an hour show. It's like we are running through things in this show so fast. This just broke right before the show, but Arlette Preston, as many of you know, is a Fargo City Commissioner, but Arlette Preston has now put her hat in the ring to run for mayor. So she is going to be running against Mayor Tim Mahoney in this upcoming election, which I believe is going to take place in June of this year. So I think that will be an absolutely fascinating race to see what direction is Fargo really headed. Are we going to go in an even more, liberal, progressive direction? Or I know there's some other people that are possibly potentially maybe going to put their hat in the ring as well and run for mayor in Fargo coming up. So we'll keep you abreast as we get that news as well. Also, thank you to Matt. Send me in a great email. Again, if you want to email the studio here, it's very easy to do. studio@flagfamily.com. Again, studio@flagfamily.com. Brought to you by Red Wing Shoes. So thank you to Red Wing Shoes for that. But Matt nails it. He posted this on Facebook. And this is how we sort of started the show. We now have got these Supreme Court justices acting as virologists, MDs, and then we just keep doing the same thing over and over again, hoping that we're going to find a different result. We all know the definition of that. It's the definition of insanity. So Matt says, hey, similar to the person who changes jobs 5 times in a year, perhaps this might be the one that works out. Insanity by definition, to say the least. And I love what he's saying here. Welcome to the largest human experiment in history. He says, my heart and prayers for this world and what will come of it, because right now the quadruple, yes, you are hearing me correctly, the quadruple vaccinated in Israel reached a new record in COVID cases. So what does Israel want to do? They don't want to use ivermectin or hydroxychloroquine or some sort of, treatment. No, what they're going to do now is go, okay, you've taken 4. That didn't work so well. Just take a 5th. Just do a 5th, because that way the Pfizer stock can go up. We all can make some more money, and everyone should be just okay with that. Yes, a 5th dose now being talked about in Israel. That is absolutely the definition of insanity. So, Matt, thank you so much for that email. Okay, I'm going to put something out there that many people think, you know what, Berg, you're nuts to even consider this. But earlier today, Scott Hennon had Gene Taylor, former AD, on his show, and he's now at K-State, as many of you know. But one of the things that came up is Scott asked him, hey, is it time for NDSU to look at going up from FCS to FBS? They can start playing people like the Gophers and Nebraska and Alabama on a much more consistent basis. Here's what Gene Taylor had.
Has changed in the college football landscape. But do you believe, we actually talked to Coach Kleiman earlier, and he said it's time. Do you share that belief?
I do. I think there's a lot of things that make a lot of sense. To me, they have to find the right conference and the right opportunity. And so there are a lot of things going on with FCS. I mean, there's so many programs that have left that have been great members of FCS. I think they certainly could be successful if they found the right opportunity. To me,
So what's the right opportunity for NDSU to go up to FBS? Is it the Big 12? Is it the Big 10? Do you start playing the Gophers every single year? Here's an idea, okay? And I think it would be incredible, because one of the challenges you're going to have, you go up to FBS, is you're going to have a 38, 50,000 seat stadium you're going to have to fill every single week, which in this community could be a challenge if you're going to put 50,000 people in the seats. So what if we just did this? And this could actually bump us up. We're going to have more money. You're going to have a better recruiting opportunity. If we just, and please just hear me out before you scream at your car, but what if we just combined NDSU, and they've already got a Division I program in hockey, UND. Producer BG, I can hear through. We have got I don't know if it is, but it feels like bulletproof glass through the studio. And I can even hear her laughing at that suggestion.
That's a stretch.
I know it is, but
I get where you're going.
Yeah.
Though. I see it, but.
Thank you.
Oh, the hockey guys would have fun with that debate.
Thank you. But all I'm saying is think about the money that's going to come into the athletic department. You're going to be able to fill up the 50,000 people, down here for the football. You can go back up to Ingolstadt Arena for the hockey, and the recruiting opportunity right there. And plus, you're going to pull all these people, because we all drive up to Grand Forks to Ingolstadt Arena. Now we can pull these people down to Grand Forks to fill up our new 50,000 seat stadium. The hotels are going to be happy, because some people in Grand Forks don't want to come down and spend the night for the game. So now we're adding to Fargo economic development. I'm just saying, I think it would be an awesome opportunity. And then we can actually talk about bringing people together.
You made it better. All right.
Your reaction was awesome. You're like, where is he going? And then I heard you just start laughing out loud. So that was beautiful. Thank you so much for joining us here on a Feel Good Friday on the Chris Berg Show, your daily dose of truth to help set you free. We got a bunch of great shows in store for you next week. One of the things we're going to be talking about is a Wellness Wednesday, Dr. Jake Schmitz. And also, a while ago, we had a guy talking about a hero on a mission. Hero on a mission. We're going to talk about that more on Monday. Go Bison.
You win.
Hey, Chris Berg here. If you like